Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry, adjusting the camera here. Okay, so it's Full Face Friday, which means I have no makeup on right now, anything. So let's get started. Today, what I'm going to be doing is featuring this very pretty eyeshadow palette. Just really a lot of fun colors. I feel like this palette is one that really anybody could wear. It's really going to look great though for people with green or hazel eyes, because some of these contrasting colors are really going to make your eyes pop, but it's still going to look nice for people with blue or gray eyes and people with brown eyes as well. So super excited about this one. You know, it does take me a minute to get to the eyeshadow, so if anybody wants to take you know, drop a comment below on which they might like to see put together, you know, definitely please do that. As you're coming on and you're getting onto the live event, or if you're catching it on the replay, please drop a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. I always love to see where everybody's at. So with the first thing we're going to start with, as always, is the primer. So make sure that you've washed your hands if you're applying it with your fingers, because you want your fingers to be clean. As you can see, the primer here that I use doesn't take a whole lot. You can see it on my fingers there. And it's clear, so I like that because it doesn't mess with my foundation color in any sort of way. And it's just really, really silky and soft. If you don't use a primer, just to let you know what it does, think of like before you paint. You know, you put down a primer, or you might buy a paint with a primer in it, right? It prepares the surface for application. It's the same concept for your face. Primer is going to set, and it's going to help fill in fine lines, wrinkles, anything like that. Cool thing about the primer that I use, should you have anything left over on your hands, you can kind of run it through your hair to help calm frizzies. So, super cool, right? All right. Next up, I'm going to use an eye primer. Now, the first primer that I use can be used as an eye primer as well. I just also have this other eye primer here that I really like. And I like it because it's just a little bit more of a tacky feel, and it really holds the eyeshadow in place and makes it more vibrant. So I don't have to worry about this, you know, wearing off during the day or creasing. I know a lot of people have issues with creasing, you know, especially right in your crease. And so eye primer, whether you know, you use the same one that you use on your face or a separate one, really does make a nice difference. So what I'm gonna do here is get this palette. So I think what I'm gonna do, we'll kind of create, let's do kind of like an everyday look. Sound good? I hope so. Let me know. I think what we'll do, we're gonna go with this color here, and I'm probably gonna add in a touch of this color here, and we'll probably use a little bit of this in there somewhere too. So just kind of play around with it and see what happens. So first thing I will use is the Angled Shadow Sponge Brush. It's got two ends on it, which is great. And I'm just going to run this right through here. That color is called Ecstatic, in case you're wondering. And I would call it a, I mean, it's not a brown, it's a purpley rose gold kind of a brownish color. It's kind of a neutral with a hint of a purple or pink touch to it. But as you can see, as I'm applying it on my entire eyelid, it's not you know, real vibrant or anything. It's got a nice little shimmer, kind of like a pearlized look, so it's not like glittery. So if you were to wear this for like an everyday look, you know, you're not looking like you're going out on the weekend or something. So all right, so just apply that all over your eye, and then let's add, just for a little pop of color, you can do this with any eyeshadow palette, but take a light shimmer color and add that right in the middle, just a little bit, okay? Right in the middle of your eye. And see how that's gonna make that pop? Now, we'll blend it, so don't worry, but I'm gonna get some on over here as well. That just adds a little bit of dimension for you with your look, just as a simple way to spice it up. Otherwise, of course, you can just do the one color all over. then I'll just dab a little bit of the first color that we use and just kind of go right up to the edges of that just to blend it a little bit. So real simple, just a fun little technique that you can add into your everyday look. All right, next up, so let's go with a crease color. So the other end of this brush is this angled end, which is super cool because then you can use that for your crease. And I'm thinking, let's do this pretty matte pink color. Keep it kind of light. Sometimes, you know, people want to go with a darker color in their crease. This will be a little darker, but not a lot. So it's just going to give some really pretty dimension and provide a different color than you might normally use. A lot of people will tend to use, you know, browns or grays as kind of their transition color here. And in the crease, but this just kind of adds a little bit different flair to it. So again, don't worry, we will blend. Right now we're just getting everything applied and then we'll blend out, so no worries. Now, speaking of transition colors, typically a transition color is closer to your skin color, and it's just gonna kind of serve as a base to blend from one color to the next. So just to kind of clarify what that means. Add a little more pink in here. Okay. All right, next up, I'm going to use, I love this brush, and I'm just going to kind of go right around the top. You could also use one of my favorite brushes. This is called a deluxe brush. It's just a fluffy brush. And I pretty much only ever use this for blending. Especially eyeshadows, and a lot of times I'll just use like an off-white matte shade just to kind of serve as like blending the edges out. You can also use, if you don't have a matte white shade, you could use a setting powder. You could also even just use your regular face powder, and that would be okay too. Okay, so then let's see here. The next thing I want to do as far as my eyes are concerned is I'm going to add just a little shimmer up by my brow here, and we're going to go with that same color we used in the middle down here. And again, we'll blend this out, so don't worry if you think it's a little too vibrant, don't worry. And then I'm going to go back to that angled shadow sponge brush there, and what I want to do is add just a little bit of this dark purple. Like I said, we kind of want to keep it light, right, for an everyday look, and that's what's so cool about any eyeshadow palette, regardless of the brand that you use or anything. The cool thing is, in a palette, the colors are designed to work together. Now, you may find some colors that you like better together, but all the colors go together, so you don't have to worry about, ooh, is that, you know, color gonna match this? The answer is yes, it will. All right, so what I'm doing here is I just got a little bit of that purple color, the dark purple, and I'm just putting a little, people call it, you know, like the V, some people call it an arrow, and the nice thing with using tools versus like your finger is that you can be very precise in your application. So again, just adding a little bit of dimension to the look without, you know, getting too crazy with the color or anything. And notice too how a lot of times when I'm working close to the outside of my eye, I'm bringing the color back, right? I'm not starting here and pushing the color out. I'm starting at the outside and bringing it back. The reason I'm doing that is because even though we haven't done our foundation yet, it does help prevent you from having, you know, a bunch of eyeshadow fallout. So that is just a little tip, you know, bring the color back on itself versus pushing the color out. However, the benefit to doing your eye makeup first, of course, is that if you do have fallout, you don't mess up your foundation in any way. Okay, so next up, full face, we're going to go with some mascara. Yes, that's what I want to do. Mascara. Okay. So the kind that I use is a fiber mascara. And basically what that means is that there's two tubes. This first tube is a gel, so it's very similar to a mascara, just like you would normally use. So we're going to get the gel on. Make sure you've got it on there good. And if you would need to use an eyelash comb, the best time would be to use it now after you've applied the gel before you do the fibers, if you're also using a fiber mascara. So, and the other tip for the mascara that I like to share is I typically only apply the fibers like halfway and through the tips because I wear contacts and it doesn't bother me if any of the little fibers would get in my contacts. That's fine. I just personally feel like I can feel the fibers like on my eyeball if I hit it too close to my waterline. So, yeah. So that's just my little tip on that. You do whatever you want, of course. Okay, so yeah, check out that difference. I mean, I just absolutely love this mascara because it's so easy to use. And really, I mean, you really get some very nice coverage out of this. So another tip for you when applying your mascara is to kind of bring your eyelashes back towards your nose. What that's going to do actually is, it's going to make your eyelashes look a little bit thicker by doing that versus fanning them out, you know, that direction. Bring them back in towards your nose just a little bit. Okay. Do the fibers here. And then I like to just let it set for a moment before doing that final coat of gel. Cool thing about this stuff is it's meant to layer up. So if you want bigger, longer, fuller eyelashes, you can keep switching back between the gel, you know, gel fiber, gel fiber, gel fiber. You get 10 coats if you want. Just make sure you always end with a final coat of the fibers, or of the gel, gosh, because that will help seal the fibers on, okay? So I'm going to let that dry for just a moment, and in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little white eyeliner on my lower waterline, and I'll step or lean back from the camera here in a moment so you can see the difference. But doing this little trick just helps open up your eyes, and as my friend Heather says, it makes your eyes glow. So you can see the difference here with the white eyeliner versus nothing on that waterline. It just helps kind of brighten it up, especially once we put mascara. Now you can use the gel and the fibers on your lower lashes if you want. I typically only do the gel unless I'm doing like a really dark, dramatic look. I don't typically want that much going on with my lower lashes. So I typically just do the gel. So we'll apply a little bit of that. And as always, I just use the camera right here the camera right here on my phone. So you guys get like a super close-up view of what I'm doing. So bear with me. But I guess the plus side is you get to see exactly what's going on. All right, so if you're getting some value out of this, or you like any of the tips I've shared, if you can just drop me a 1 in the comments, I certainly would appreciate it. I like to create my content on my page based off of interactions that I get from you guys when you watch my videos or comments that you make. So any feedback you've got, you know, for a tip or anything that you'd like to see, please drop that below. Let me know. All right, so now we'll go back and I will do the final coat here of the gel. And this is just a really light coat. You're not putting this on heavy, but you just want to help make sure those little fibers stay on. And you know what, if they don't, and you've got like, you might have like a fiber fall off on your face throughout the day, you're fine. So as soon as I get this on, then I'm going to go and move on to the foundation. And today I'm going to be actually mixing just a touch of liquid foundation with BB cream. I just, you know, because I have so much different stuff at home, I like to play around with it and see how stuff works together. Ooh, and the other cool thing I'm going to do today that I have not tried before is I am going to add in my luminizer that I got. Sorry, I dropped my setting powder, but at least the lid was on. That would not have been good. Okay, so what I'm going to do for my foundation today, in fact, yeah. So the reason I was going to mix these two, my BB cream and my liquid foundation, was because I wanted just a little bit more of a dewy look. The liquid foundation is a soft powdery finish, which is super nice. I just wanted a little bit more dewy look today, but then I'm also, this is the new part, I'm going to add in some luminizer. So this is like a lotion type, you know, feel to it, and it's a rose gold color. And I put that all over my face. So I'm kind of excited about this. I hope it turns out good. Like I said, I haven't tried it before. So you guys get to see this go down live, okay? And so see if it's a good mix. Okay, so let's get a little foundation here. If you're just tuning in, I've already done my eye makeup and I've already put primer on, and I'm getting ready to do my foundation. Okay, so we've got my liquid foundation. I'm going to dab on a little BB cream. And then let's do this luminizer and give it a whirl, okay? You see that? Oh yeah, you can. It's the one that's like shimmery. I didn't want to call it shimmery. It's like a pearlized look is what I would call it. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I called it rose gold. This is the, I do have a rose gold one, but this one is the gold one. Yeah, okay. So, all right. As always, we're going to go straight down the middle, and then we're going to fan it out, and that just helps give you more natural coverage, because what you're doing is you're applying it the heaviest in, in the middle of your face, and then the closer you get to your jawline, your hairline, all that, it's thinner by then because you've spread it out so well. So that's just a little tip for you there. All right, let me grab a mirror so I can make sure I'm getting all of this blended in here. I do like the way this looks with the luminizer put in with it. It's just making it like giving me like a really soft glow all over. It's very subtle. I could certainly put more in it, but it's very, very subtle. So I like it, but I can tell the way that it's picking up with the light. So I would just say, and you guys can probably tell too, the way some of the light's reflecting. It's super cool. Looks very nice. So I'm just gonna make sure I get that all rubbed in there. All right. I think I'm good. Always blend down a little bit onto your neck too, just to, be sure that you are matching. So when you're color matching, especially if you're in person, you want to color match to your neck, because sometimes your face, even if your face is naturally lighter, right? Mine is. I still color match to my neck because otherwise I look too light. My face looks completely washed out. So test on your neck and it will flow very nicely. So that is the foundation with the luminizer added to it. So I really like that look. It's just really, really cool. So, okay, so next up, we are going to add, let's see, just, I'm going to do a little blush, and then I'm going to do just a touch of highlight and some lipstick. And I think that'll, oh, and my brows, duh. And then I'll be done. Okay, so when you're using an angled brush to apply your blush, you always want the angle point down. Whoops, let me turn that around. Down, because that's the way the bristles flow, and it's designed that way for you on purpose. So go ahead and do this. Now, I've done this in another video too, but in case you haven't seen that one, I'm kind of over applying the blush a little bit so that you guys can see it better, so it picks up on camera better. But I will show you something cool that you can do with the setting powder. The setting powder is meant to set your makeup, of course, But this particular one that I use, it's a translucent powder, and so it's meant to kind of create a blurring effect as well. So if you ever were to get too much, you can either go straight over it or just kind of around it, and it's almost like a Snapchat filter. It really just helps blend it all in really nice. So we'll just do a quick overhaul kind of there all over. And then, so you still see I've got my blush is still on, but it's just blended nicely, nice and light. And then what I'm going to do is add just a little bit of, let me find it here. This is a loose, I call it highlighting. It's not necessarily highlighting, but it's a loose powder concealer. But what I like to use it as is for highlight because it has a luminescent finish. So I go just a little lighter, apply it in a V shape, just very lightly. It's a powder, loose powder. And that creates just a nice little highlight there under my eye. And it helps, again, blend where the blush line would be. So you're just kind of keeping that nice and consistently blended. And then I'm going to go just a little bit here and here, and I'll blend those here in just a second. But I just want you to be able to see like where it's going and kind of what it looks like before I blend it. So right now I'm just basically highlighting anywhere that I would, highlight, right? The high points of your face. So add a little bit more under here just for the concealer aspect of it. A little bit on my chin here. And you can also add a little like on the Cupid's bow. A little pop right there. All right. All right, cool. Now, let's see. Next up, I will do brows, and I'm just going to use my pencil here. So you just kind of want to give them a quick combing so you know where everything is. I'm still in the process of having them reshaped, but they're looking really good. I've had it done once now, and I'll go back again in a few weeks here and have it done again. So just really nice light strokes, just can help fill in and just give a nice consistent look through your brow area. Can really make a difference. You can see here, what it looks like to fill in one side and then not the other, and what a difference that can make. This side where it's filled in definitely frames the eye more, but it also helps you look younger, to be honest. So that's something to keep in mind. People always are looking for ways to look younger, right? Well, heck, fill in your eyebrows. That's one way you can look younger. And a lot of people are nervous to do it, but you saw how fast I just filled in that brow. It's just simple, light strokes, and just going right where your hairs already are. And if you have any bald spots, I do, you just glide right over those and fill those in, and it just gives you a nice complete look with your brows. So just remember, short little strokes. That is what will give you more control over where it's going, but it keeps the look really soft because you don't want to look like you drew your eyebrows on, right? So just make sure that you use those little strokes. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to go with this really pretty lip stain color that I like a lot. Let me find it in my little bag here. Okay. So lip stains should stay on for several hours. That's why they're called a stain. Most of them are very liquidy in kind of almost like water-like. So they're definitely a different consistency than like, a lipstick. But they're very easy to use. If you would get them on your skin, just wipe it off right away because you don't want to stain the skin around your mouth. It's for your lips. And because once it sets, it can stay on for hours, you wouldn't want like a streak of, you know, lip stain across your face. So, okay, let me add just a little more here for a little more color, and then we're done. It will be all done. I wasn't planning to leave the house today. Maybe I'll have to find somewhere to go now. I got my makeup done. Other cool thing about lip stains is that you can layer them up. So once it dries, you can add on another layer and another layer, depending on how bold you want your color to be. Okay, so that's it. That is Full Face Friday today. That's today's look. Kind of created a purpley pink kind of eyeshadow look that's still very neutral, still very doable for an everyday type look. And this hair's a hot mess today. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to all of you later. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Feel free to drop them in the comments. And we'll talk soon. All right? Bye.